Hi, welcome to the demo of Salesforce Game of Thrones Rideshare app. I will go one by one requirement and I will show how it is implemented. These requirements are quite big and so uh, I will go one by one. First, the citizens can be either a driver or passengers. So what I did, I have created a field on users called type. This is a pick list where it has two values like driver and passenger, as well as I created one validation rule on users, so that whenever a user is created, that value is required. So this type is required. So I make it a mandatory field so that whenever a user is created, a type will be automatically added. So this requirement is fulfilled. So a driver will log into Salesforce and create a trip where they enter departure city, destination city, travel date, and time range they want to go. So for that, I have created a tab called Rideshare, which is guided by a Visualforce page. So when you go there, this is a driver view of this application. So they will give the trip name, which is a required field in Salesforce. This departure city, departure location, travel date, and departure low and departure high. These are the time field and some special instruction for the passengers who will be onboarding to this trip. So these all fields are uh, given here. So now I'll go to the trip object and I will show what are the different fields I have created there and what are the purpose of those. So this confirmation time, this first field, this field is like we have a requirement when 30 minutes before we have to fire some mail to the driver and the passenger, so that they will confirm their availability and the trip status. So as soon as we create one trip, this confirmation time will be automatically set to the departure high time minus 30 minutes. This departure city is the it's a lookup to the location object, and this departure high, this is this is the high time value for that the trip is a date time field internally, and this departure low is the low time range when the trip can start. This is also a date time field, and destination city is like where the trip will be ending. Is request, this field is for like whenever there is no trip is available, when a passenger is going for it and he can place a request. So in that case I am making this flag is true so that it won't come in search when other passengers are searching for a trip. uh, Send confirmation, this is another flag here, which will be checked via workflow. So I have used a combination of approval process and workflow here to achieve all the requirements. So what will happen when a trip is getting created, it will automatically set the creation confirmation time, and there will be a time dependent workflow based on this confirmation time, which will fire 0 hours after the confirmation time, means on the confirmation time, and it will check this send confirmation C checkbox. So as soon as this send confirmation C checkbox is checked, I have written one trigger which will automatically taken care, and it will submit one approval process for the trip request, which will send an email to the requester, and saying that we need a confirmation, and based on their reply it will update the status. and this field send passenger notification. We also have a requirement where if a trip is requested by a passenger which is not available, and if any driver created that trip kind of trip, then the passenger will be notified that your trip is available now. If you want, you can go and onboard it. So to avail that requirement, this checkbox will be checked from the code, so that another workflow will fire and it will send the email to the requester saying that this trip is available now. The special instruction is another, like when if driver is want to put any special instruction for onboarding, so he can put the status is a peak list which will control like what are the status of the trip, sorry. So it can be scheduled, cancelled, completed, and onboarding. So and this travel date is the date on which the travel trip will be created, and this trip cancelled. These are the two roll-up summary field. I have created one master detail relationship with a trip request, and if as soon as users are onboarding, I am setting that request pick list value to boarded, and then I am doing a roll-up summary here. So if I open this field, you can see this trip request summarize and field criteria status equal to boarded. This will give me a count, and same like trip cancelled, whoever user is canceling their trip, the same roll up summary I'm creating. These two field will be used in reporting requirement, where this requirement is done. Means we have a requirement, we have to show some reporting based on that who are onboarding and who are creating rides. uh, this is all about the trip object. And now I will go to the application with the driver view. So you can see there are four tabs are there. This one is new trip, another one is my trip, another one is boarding process, another one is request trip. So a driver can also request a trip. So I'll go back here. The driver will log into Salesforce and create a trip, this thing. So first I will for this requirement I will first go and create a trip. Say I will create a sample O1. So I have given a type ahead here. So the type add application, like say I'll start with C. So I'll destination city, I will say with B, say Vale. This is the date. Now what I will do, I will select a pass date and try to click on save. So I have created HTML5 attributes on this page, so and make these fields required. So these are the client side validation. So this form will be not submitted until and unless you fill these values. So now if I click on try to save, so I will get an error saying pass date supplied. I have used jQuery dialog UI to show all the messaging here. So you can close it. So now I will change it to 1140 and I will give some good value. So I will make it 1. So I'm creating one trip with sample 1, which is 11 to 1140, and I'm clicking save. So now I'll see trip created successfully, and all these things will get getting blanked again, and I am making this field by default with the today's date. So now if I go to my trips, you can see there are some others trips I have created. This trip I have just created now, so this will be scheduled. So this is the high time, low time, and this is the high time. So now if I go to boarding process, there is nothing is here. So this is something old, so I'm not considering it. uh, Now this is the I'll go and go for a go for a uh, go for a trip request from a passenger. This is the passenger view who can see only two tab: request, trip, and my trip. So if I go here, I can see I've just given the Pacifica to Vail. Okay. Okay, so you see, as soon as I give this value, this automatically matching came here. So if it is like, you can go and see, like say if I put a travel date, something like say two, see, you can see it's getting cleared and saying no trips are found, but we will add your trip and notify you if a driver registered for a trip. So this is the requirement here. The passenger will log into Salesforce and fill out the same, but they will see a list of trips that match their destination criteria, which will can request a ride to the driver. If no matches are found, we'll get a message that says no trips are found, but we'll add your trip. This requirement is completed. So now I'll change it again. I'll make it one. Again, it's not found. So you see, it's I can get it. So now I will request this trip. So as soon as I'm requesting this trip, I can see a cancel trip button here, as well as you can see sample one. It is coming under my trip where is a cancel trip options is available. So now if I log into my mailbox, see there are lots of other emails. So this is uh, so for better understanding, I will delete all of the request, and I'll delete this also. So now I'll cancel this sample one trip. So this trip cancelled successfully. So if I go to request here, so and if I search again, so see this trip is again coming as available. So I'm requesting the trip, and if I go to my mailbox, see, I'll be getting one request here. This is the driver is getting an email from requester. So once driver agrees, they will receive an email with details, who the person, and a link to accept and deny the request. There is a lots of discussion on this link. It was told that it as public REST API will be an option, but later point of time it was decided we'll going for approval process. So so I will just reply to this email saying approved, and then this is test. So this is test will go as a comment in that approval process. So if I come here and if I go to my trips, you can see I am still able to see this. And if I go to trip request and this sample one, see the status is approved, and you can see that approval process flow is here. So means, and you can see this comment is automatically added. I'm still able to see this cancel trip option. So if I go for a request trip, see here is status is reflecting this is approved. So this is now if I go to my trip, there is no status. The status is only coming when you are requesting. So this is all about these requirements. Now I'll go to others. Once a driver gets the request, will receive an email with the details, who the person, and a link. This is completed. I saw you how status is getting changed. So if driver accept the request, the passenger will get a notification from the driver with special instruction where to meet. So there is no special instruction on this email. So I'll be opening this mailbox. See, the standard is or your trip request is at do please find the instruction for boarding. As there is no special instruction, it is not coming here. Because when I'm creating this trip, I it is not getting, I'm not given any value here. So you can see this, I'm getting an email here saying that my trip is approved. So now this 30-minute thing. So if I go here on the setup, now I will go to time based workflow, object contains trip search. You can see there is a request for sample one, and this is trip confirmation, and it is fired by this, and this is the trip request. So if I go to trip request, go, so the sample one, this trip request. So this is confirmation time is 8:10. You can see 8:40 the last time, confirmation time is automatically seen 8:10. So if I come to this time based workflow, you can see it will fire at 8:10 a.m. and it will send this notification. So what this workflow is doing, this workflow will go and check this send confirmation checkbox. Once the send confirmation checkbox is checked, so it will become, it will go to another approval process. So so this is trip confirmation and trip request confirmation. So first I'll go to trip confirmation for driver. You can see there is a 0 hours after confirmation time. So this check send confirmation. So once this check send confirmation is checked, I have a trigger written. This trigger, and if I go to the handler, you see it is taking the old map and the new map for the trip. It is searching, and if checking the send confirmation equal to false to true, it is adding, and then it is pushing to an approval process. So if I go to this approval process, so for trip request, I will go to trip. So get driver confirmation. So this with trip status equal to scheduled and trip send confirmation equal to true, this will fire, and this will record our log and then send follow-up confirmation. So this is another email. So on status, as soon as driver is get status equal, then it will change the status to onboarding. So now this is what and same for trip request, like say this one. So I will do delete these two emails and go here. I will delete these emails for ease of testing again. So now I will come here. I will come here, go to new trip. So now time is 10:11 p.m. Okay, so sample 2. Say I will say something, and I've given a type ahead here. See from Pala to Vanica, it will be today. Time will be 10. 30 p.m. say 10 40 p.m. So 10:40 minus 30, it will be 10:10. So it is already passed. Special instruction. This is test. Trip created successfully. So this is, I have requested, this is what I have created. Is still interested, that one, that email, like I have created one email for that, and my trip is now available. So I'll be getting an email. Fine. Now if I go to trip, go see this sample 2 is created. See this send passenger notification. It's for that I received that email. So this email, unfortunately I deleted that required email which I'm testing. So if I go to that trip and say I refresh it, so I'll go to this time-based workflow. Go to trips. This is, I'll delete this. So it's still gone to the approval process. So unfortunately, I deleted that email and then it's not working. So I'll be deleting all the records and I will start afresh for this demo. Sorry, unfortunately that email, that is the reason it's not working. So now I have a clean system. So here I will create a sample one, say test one, say I will say specific group to specific, then I'll give the time 10, say I'll give fix 16 p.m. We'll give 10 30 p.m. So I'll sample save. Okay, so I have to change something. I'll make it 18. Save. Trip created successfully. So if I go to trips, this is the test one. See, the send passenger notification is checked. So if I come, your requested test one is now available. So I'll be getting that email. So now we'll come here. We'll get a sample 4. Test intensity is Valley. Say, and say it will be like 10, 20, 10, 25. Test, save. Okay, save. So my trip created successfully. I'll receive another email. So mm, so I will, and I have given a feature like say this is a broadcast message. This is be getting controlled from custom label. When you go to create custom labels, you can see this flag is on, you will get the message, and if it is off you won't get it. Like sometimes you require to do some broadcast, so this message will automatically come. And then I will show you some other feature. So I'll give it like say and if I try to save, trip created successfully, and it will automatically come here. And if you go to my trips, you can see it is automatically coming here. So I'll give some another more information in my second video. Thank you.